Have you ever been inside your house, listening to thunder, while rain crashes against the windows? Maybe you smile. Maybe you make a cup of coffee. Maybe you enjoy the sound. Now imagine, there is no house, no roof, no walls, no flashlight, no weather forecast, no idea when the storm will end. Just you, your family, a small fire, and the sky suddenly exploding above your head. 10,000 years ago, a thunderstorm wasn't relaxing. It wasn't beautiful. It wasn't something you watched through a window. It was survival. And here's the strange part. Storms may have shaped the human brain more than almost anything else in nature. Because every time dark clouds appeared, ancient humans had to answer one terrifying question. Will we still be alive by morning? Picture this. The air suddenly changes. Birds stop singing. The wind grows stronger. Leaves begin shaking. The temperature drops. Nobody says a word, because everyone knows what's coming. Then, a flash. The entire forest turns white for 1 second. Then, boom. The ground shakes. Children scream. Animals run. The fire almost dies. Today, you know it's electricity. Ancient humans didn't. Imagine seeing lightning without understanding what lightning is. Imagine hearing thunder without knowing where it comes from. Every storm felt supernatural. Some believed powerful spirits were angry. Some believed the sky itself was alive. Some believed enormous beings lived above the clouds. And honestly, can you blame them? Even today, lightning kills thousands of people every year. Now imagine living completely exposed to it. No insulated buildings. No lightning rods. No weather apps. Only instinct. An instinct usually said one thing: hide. But where? That's the real mystery. Forests weren't always safe. Large trees attracted lightning. Open fields left you completely exposed. Caves protected you. Sometimes. Unless they flooded. The safest place could become the deadliest place within minutes. Every storm forced impossible decisions. Run or stay. Climb higher or lower. Protect the fire or protect the children. Because losing the fire could be just as dangerous as surviving the storm. Fire wasn't comfort. Fire was life. Without it, you couldn't cook. You couldn't stay warm. You couldn't scare away predators. One careless moment, one heavy rain, and weeks of work disappeared. Researchers studying hunter-gatherer groups noticed something fascinating. When storms approached, entire groups changed behavior almost instantly. People gathered together. Voices became quieter. Children stayed close to adults. Everyone watched the sky. Storms didn't separate tribes. They pulled them closer together. Maybe that's one reason humans became such social creatures. Fear created cooperation. Imagine sitting beneath a rocky shelter. Rain pounding outside. Thunder rolling across the mountains. Nobody is speaking. Every face is lit by tiny flames. Then, someone starts telling a story. Not to pass the time. To calm everyone. A story about another storm. Another family. Another survival. Stories weren't entertainment. Sometimes, they were medicine. The more frightened people became, the more important stories became. Think about that. The very thing we use today, movies, books, podcasts, YouTube, may have started during moments exactly like this. Because frightened humans need hope, need meaning, need reassurance. But storms weren't only dangerous because of lightning. They changed everything. Rain erased footprints, destroyed camps, flooded rivers, turned safe paths into deadly traps. One night, you know exactly where to hunt. The next morning, the entire landscape looks different. Imagine waking up, walking outside, and discovering the path you've used your whole life no longer exists. A river is twice as wide. Trees lie across the ground. Animal tracks, gone. Everything familiar feels unfamiliar. And that uncertainty was terrifying. Because ancient humans didn't survive by controlling nature. They survived by adapting to it. Then came the sound everyone feared. Not thunder. Silence. Sometimes, after the storm, the forest became completely quiet. No birds, no insects, no movement. Just silence. And ancient humans knew silence often meant something dangerous was nearby. A predator, a wounded animal, or another tribe. The storm was over. But the danger often wasn't. And what happened next may explain something you still do today. That instinct never disappeared. Have you ever noticed that during a thunderstorm, you suddenly feel like staying inside? You check the windows. You close the curtains. You call your family. You text someone. Did you hear that? Why? Because deep inside your brain, the storm still means one thing. Gather together. Thousands of generations taught your ancestors, never face a storm alone. Your brain still remembers. But storms had another secret. Sometimes, they brought gifts. Imagine waking up after an entire night of thunder. The sky is finally clear. The air smells different. Everything feels fresh. Then someone notices something strange. A tree, still smoking. Lightning struck it. The inside is burning. Nobody understands why. Nobody has ever seen anything like it. Then someone gets closer, very slowly. The fire is still alive. Think about how unbelievable that moment must have been. A tree, burning, without another human touching it. Some anthropologists believe natural lightning fires may have been one of humanity's first sources of fire. Long before humans learned to create fire, nature may have handed it to them. One storm could completely change a tribe's future. The same storm that almost killed them could also save them. That's nature. Cruel and generous at exactly the same time. Now imagine the rain finally stops. Everyone walks outside. The ground is covered with puddles, branches everywhere, fresh animal tracks. The entire forest feels different. Storms didn't just change the weather. They changed opportunity. Animals moved differently. Water collected in new places. Plants became easier to find. The world reset itself. Ancient humans learned something powerful. You cannot stop nature. You can only learn how it behaves. That lesson still shapes us today. Because every major challenge in human history has rewarded adaptation. Not strength. Not size. Adaptation. That's why humans survived. Not because we were faster than wolves. We weren't. Not because we were stronger than bears. We definitely weren't. We survived because we watched. We learned. We remembered. And storms became one of our greatest teachers. But here's something even stranger. Have you ever counted the seconds between lightning and thunder? Most people have. Even children do it. Without realizing, they're using one of humanity's oldest survival habits. Your ancestors did exactly the same thing. Not because they knew physics. Because distance mattered. If thunder came immediately, danger was close. If it arrived much later, the storm was moving away. That tiny habit still exists. Thousands of years later, your brain still measures storms, without you even thinking about it. And maybe that's why thunder feels different than almost every other sound. A loud motorcycle doesn't stop conversations. Thunder does. Everyone looks up. Everyone pauses. Everyone listens. For one brief moment, every human shares the same instinct. Pay attention. Something important is happening. Storms also changed the stories humans told. Imagine children huddled together. Rain crashing outside. An elder begins speaking. Long ago, one storm lasted for 7 days. The sky became black. The river swallowed the forest. We survived because we stayed together. Those stories weren't just stories. They were survival manuals. Every generation passed them forward. Not written on paper, written in memory. That's one reason humans became extraordinary storytellers. Stories help people survive, long before they entertained them. Now think about today. When a storm is coming, your phone sends a notification. You already know. You have hours to prepare. Your roof protects you. Your lights stay on. Your heater works. You barely think about it. Ancient humans had none of that. Only experience, observation, and each other. Which brings us to the biggest surprise of all. Storms weren't just something ancient humans survived. Storms helped create the humans we became. They taught us to cooperate, to plan ahead, to build shelters, to tell stories, to protect children, to share warmth, to stay together. Without storms, human civilization may have looked very different. The next time thunder shakes your house, pause, just for a second. Listen. Really listen. That sound terrified your ancestors. It forced them together. It made them wiser. It made them stronger. And although the world has changed, electricity arrived, cities appeared, concrete replaced caves, your brain still reacts to the same sound. Not because you're weak, because somewhere inside you lies a survival system built beneath dark skies, beside small fires, surrounded by family, waiting for the storm to pass. And maybe every time thunder echoes across the sky, a tiny part of your brain remembers a world that disappeared thousands of years ago.